I posted a poll in the community section of my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, you're not going to be getting those updates. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can be a part of that community and see what other people are saying. So I asked everybody what was their biggest concern that was holding them back from getting dentures. Most people said it was cost, which I totally get that. I've been there. And I do have a video dealing with cost of dental work coming up in 2022. But the second biggest concern was fear. Have a seat. I got this. I have legit anxiety. I posted a video about my anxiety and how it related to dentures a couple years ago. I will link it at the end of this video so that you can check it out if you haven't seen it already. So I have general anxiety. My general anxiety centers around my need to know everything. I overthink everything. I want to know exactly what I'm walking into. From the beginning to the end, I want to know all of the ins and outs so that I can mentally prepare for it. If I don't know what's going to happen, it's going to make me anxious. For instance, let's just say hypothetically I was invited to a party, and I mean hypothetically because I'm not invited to parties, unfortunately. But if I was, and you give me your address, you can guarantee I am plugging your address into Google Maps, I am going into Street View, and I'm going to scope the situation out. I want to know that I'm not pulling into somebody else's driveway. What if the address isn't lit up properly? I don't want to be that creeper circling around your block 5 times trying to find the house. I also want to know if I'm going to be overdressed or underdressed, because let's be honest, if you pull up to my house, you're going to know instantly that it's a jeans and t-shirt situation. If I pull up to some multi-million-dollar house, I'm going to have to kick it up a notch. You know what I mean? And so that's how my anxiety works. For a long time, I would put off even going to the dentist because I was scared about what was going to happen when I got there. Are they going to spring it on me at the last minute and be like, surprise, we're going to go ahead and extract them now? This is going to cost $10,000. Yeah, I don't even have $4,000. What's the dentist going to be like? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to be like, wow, this is quite possibly the worst case I've ever seen in like my 40 years of practicing dentistry? Stuff like that freaks me out. I just need to know what to expect. And so I avoided it for a while until it got to the point where I just couldn't avoid it anymore. At that point, I realized I can predict this outcome if I don't go to the dentist. And so that's the only reason I was able to even go through with it, because I finally reached that point where I was out of excuses. Nothing could be worse than what I was already dealing with. And so I just had to do it. And you can guarantee between the time that I had my impressions and my extraction appointment, that in-between stage was the absolute worst I've ever experienced in my journey as a denture wearer. I made it so much harder than it had to be. Every time I turned around, my brain was trying to tell me all the reasons that I should not go through with it. And I'm talking about the craziest reasons. Not only are the teeth going to look funny and they're not going to fit, or they're going to be like, oh, something happened, we don't actually have your dentures right now, you're going to have to leave without teeth. Beyond that, I'm thinking I'm going to bleed out from this. Like, I'm literally not going to survive the procedure, because to me, I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that they could, in one sitting, pull every single tooth from my mouth. I couldn't accept it. It scared me. Every time I turned around, I'm thinking, just wait. You're just not ready. You're just not mentally prepared for it. And to be honest, I don't think that there's anything that could have prepared me for that. I was going to be scared regardless. I just had to do it. As a result of facing the biggest fear I have ever had in my life, it really put a lot of other things into perspective. And I was able to face so many more fears because I did that. I'm not completely healed from my anxiety. There are a lot of times when I sit down here to record a video and I start overthinking it to the point that I just can't even post anything. A lot of times when I've been off of YouTube for extended periods of time, it's because of that. I just overthink it so much. The lighting's not right. Nothing I say sounds right. Now I'm starting to panic. I'm sweating my makeup off. What if I confuse people? What if this sounds crazy? It's just anxiety. And if I let myself fall down that rabbit hole, it's really hard to stop it. So I constantly challenge myself to face those irrational fears that I have. It's 6:26 p.m. It feels like it's like 9 o'clock. If I really wanted to, there's nothing stopping me right now from getting in my car and driving to the nearest bar and ordering some weird drink and just sitting there by myself at the bar. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I do stuff like that because I know it makes me nervous. I know I'm anxious. I know I'm worried that I'm going to look like an idiot. So since having my teeth pulled, here are a few scary things that I have done. When Nova was only a couple weeks old, I took all 4 of my kids to the laundromat and I did like 10 loads of laundry. That made me nervous. What if one of the kids runs away into oncoming traffic? What if Nova freaks out and doesn't stop crying and everybody's staring at me? How am I going to get 4 kids into the laundromat and then haul all these damn bags in there? But I forced myself to do it. Then I took them camping by myself. I loaded all 4 of my kids into my car and I drove to a place that I had never been in my life, and I took them camping for 5 days. I didn't even know how to pitch a tent by myself. I was literally counting on Veda, who was 9 at the time, to be my helper. What were we going to do if she couldn't help me? I don't know. We weren't gonna die though, so we did that. I flew on a plane to Vegas by myself, and then I didn't stay in my hotel room the whole time. I walked around Vegas by myself. I rode roller coasters, and the whole time I'm thinking people are probably staring at me like I'm a loser, I don't have any friends. I just did it anyways. Me and Shannon took a trip to Europe in 2016 by ourselves. Never been there. We mapped out 2 weeks full of stuff to do from London to Rome. We rented a car at the airport. We didn't get any sleep. We rented a car and we drove out to Stonehenge. And then we changed in the parking lot of Stonehenge and we explored Stonehenge. And then we took the car on a drive to the Cotswolds. I may have curbed it a couple of times because I was terrified about the situation driving on the opposite side of the road. But we did that. For me, once I faced that biggest fear that I had, it was empowering. I felt like I could do anything. And so now, even though I have anxiety, I force myself to do things that scare me. I force myself to do things that make me nervous. And then when I'm on the other side of those things, I realized that it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. So I'm just sharing this with you guys to let you know that if you're terrified, if you're scared, if you're like borderline phobic, I was too. I thought that the absolute worst would happen to me if I went through with getting my extractions. And the whole time leading up to that appointment, everything in me told me to cancel it. Everything in me told me to back out of it. Don't go through with it. Thoughts that come from anxiety usually do not serve you. They are not rooted in facts. After I got through my extractions and I could look back, I was like, that was a little underwhelming considering how much I hyped it up. It was nothing like I thought it would be. I don't even remember half of it. So I just wanted to have a chit chat with you guys and see where you're at with all of this. I know that a lot of you guys are scared. Maybe you're scared of the procedure. Maybe you're scared of the outcome of whether you're going to be able to function with your dentures or not, whether people are going to judge you or not. If you have any fears about this procedure, then leave it in the comment section below. So those of us who have experienced it and faced our fear can report back and let you know how it went. And we can sort of help each other out. If you could relate to this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so that you get these updates. All of my social links are in the description box below, and I will see you guys next time. Y'all take care.